Take a good look at our finalists and tell us which ones you would like to see added to future ladder map pools. Should we have a look at these? So these are the finalists of the map contest. The maps are accompanied by comments from the map maker. The maps are listed in random order and do not reflect their score in judge voting. And the maps outside the 16 finalists will be considered for inclusion in the competitive map pool. Okay, so first off, we have a map called Diffusion by Avex. Let's see. I thought Avex actually had retired from map making, but apparently he has not really. This is just like StarCraft pro gamers. They don't truly retire. Some of them do, but generally speaking, a lot of them do dip in every once in a while. Akin to the classic map remasters being made in Brood War, such as Retro, Fighting Spirit, Neo Dark Origin, and Destination, Diffusion aims to modernize the Wings of Liberty classic Daybreak and bring it to Legacy of the Void standards. So Daybreak LE, I mean, I can immediately visualize the map because I'm a Giga nerd and I've been watching StarCraft for a very long time. Daybreak was one of the most popular maps that we've ever had in StarCraft. It still is one of the most popular maps of all time. These days, it doesn't really work that well anymore because the map is just really cramped. And for modern gameplay, like this is a map from, when was it released? 2011. Yeah. So it's been a while since this map came out. So obviously the game has gone through many changes. I mean, we've had units added, like for example, a Ravager that didn't exist. Widow Mines didn't exist when this thing, you know, the game has moved on and changed. So this is supposed to be a modern iteration of it. It's not a direct clone or modification. It has been made entirely new, sporting third bases that are actually nearby compared to its predecessor while still fielding its wide arcs. The center has been redesigned to feature a rhombus, favoring high ground and low ground. Okay, lastly, 2 new Xel'Naga towers provide vision on the outskirts of the map. But they themselves are threatened by Coolant towers. It's a lot of words. It's a lot of words. I was elected to lead, not to read. This doesn't really look like Daybreak at all, but... No. The main base looks like Daybreak. Okay, you know what? The main base, natural, that looks like Daybreak. This part over here looks like Daybreak. This part over here looks like Daybreak too. Then the corner base over here, middle base over here. Yeah, you know what? It is a little bit Daybreaky. No, it is actually quite Daybreaky. The high grounds and the low grounds are very different though. Also, there's now a watchtower over here in the middle rather than the ones that the players would have on either side of the middle section. Okay. A rich Vespian gas geyser. Regular Vespian gas geysers all around the other places. So this is interesting. Most of the time in StarCraft 2, we either have one rich gas geyser or we have 2 regular gas geysers. Now we have a rich gas geyser together with a regular gas geyser, meaning that you can get a stupid amount of gas really quickly if you take this expansion. Yeah, this looks clean. I mean, I'm not gonna look at these maps for an hour each, because I'm probably gonna be able to find some issues. We'll get to that when I actually see some of the pro games that are gonna be played, because there will be a map contest tournament. But yeah, my initial impressions of this looks good. Okay, next up. Oh, by the way, I also need to rate the maps depending on the map name. Very important. Diffusion, perfectly okay. This is the type of map name that I can get behind. Now, I had a brief little scroll through earlier to... What is this? This is... Okay, we'll get to that in a moment. Tokamak. Tokamak? Tokamak. It's a white macro map made by Volumin with 16 bases, 2 of which are hybrid bases with 4 blue and 4 gold minerals, plus 1 Vespian gas. Okay, first expansion relatively safe. Further ones are more open. Behind the hybrid base, there are destructible towers that can be used as... Okay. Okay. Ooh. I mean, I say this every time I review maps, but we really have become spoiled with how pretty maps are. I love the aesthetic in general, like right away. I don't know if I agree with the blue LEDs going around so many bases nowadays, but it is pretty. I like the colors a lot. Main base, jump up location for a Reaper, regular choke off over here, regular wall off over there, double gas, obviously. Third base, fourth base. Okay, so these are the bases that he was talking about that are a little bit special. So these have half minerals that are gold and half that are not, but you can also knock down towers to make them, I guess, either more offensive or defensive. This looks like a pretty generic map, and I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just that this is the type of map that we've already seen a million times. It's not that I dislike it, but, you know, I could use a little bit more spice. I wonder, actually. Oh, okay, so that's actually pretty cool. So when you destroy the destructible tower behind those minerals, they will crush the 4 blue mineral nodes. Okay. I don't really see why you would want to take this base. It's a cool mechanic. I'm just a little confused as to why you would want to take the gamble, because this is a really risky base to take. Maybe if the entire base had 8 golden mineral fields instead, I could kind of see the risk-reward. But I don't really see why you would want to be taking this expansion. I mean, it could... Maybe if it's like a full late-game scenario and a full split map, and both players try to mine 50% of the map, crushing 4 of your opponent's mineral fields could be huge, but it's going to be really hard to hold on to them. But yeah, destroying minerals is a cool mechanic that we haven't really seen before. This map name, yeah, it's okay. Tokamak. Try to figure out, what is a Tokamak? It's a device which can be used for powerful magnetic fields. All right. I can be on board with that. This map name, Magannatha. Magannatha? Absolute garbage. I hate everything about the map name. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Once upon a time, we had a map called Magannatha, or Magannatha. I was very happy to see that one removed out of the map pool just because of the name. Okay, this one is made by Hopper. I am not familiar with Hopper? Not sure. This map owes much of its design to this... Oh, by the way, volumin has made a whole lot of maps before. Maybe Hopper as well, I don't know. The map owes much... And Avex as well. Avex has also made a gajillion maps. This map owes much of its design to success of several previous ladder maps, including Dreamcatcher, Eastwatch. Eastwatch? Magannatha is a macro-oriented map with emphasis on the innovative use of collapsible rocks and cooling towers, henceforth simply known as towers, and diagonal symmetry. Okay, Xel'Naga towers block gold bases on the diagonal. Zerg oppressive controls the corner, okay. Large acceleration zone generations, okay. Every tower has at least 1 of 5 applications. Okay. So, Hopper has really put in a lot of work thinking about Xel'Naga towers. Ooh, this map layout is very different than what we're used to. This looks absolutely massive. 5, 6, 7, 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bases per player? Yeah, seems about right. Lot of bases. I wish that Hopper put as much effort into the naming of the map as much as he did the watchtowers. But anyways, I love speed circles. I think speed circles are very fun. So these allow you to maneuver around the map very quickly, set up a lot of cool run-bys. I wonder if this map is too big, but I mean, it looks fun. The amount of distance between all of these expansions. Like, Zerg seems to be the struggling race at this point in the meta. This is the type of map where the bases in the bottom left and the bases in the top right, like all of this is difficult to acquire. But maybe if you're Zerg, you can actually take those expansions. It feels very open. Yeah, it's nice for variety's sake. Steam City. All right. Gaben is going to be excited about this one. This is by Chronoxeo. Also, not familiar with that name. Standard ramped map with low ground linear third. Center of the map has a lot of debris that create narrow alleyways. I love how when you ask the map makers to give a write-up on their maps, some of them write up all of this, and then some of them write this. I like it. I like it. Ooh, this one is not as distinct as the others, as far as, like, the color setup goes, right? I'm a little afraid, and obviously I'm not loading this up in game right now, I'm a little afraid that this is gonna have a very generic yellow tint to everything. You know, like how back in the day when you, or maybe you still watch it, you know when in Breaking Bad, they go to any of the Mexican regions? Anything that is supposed to indicate that they are somewhere in Mexico has this insanely yellow filter all over it. Getting the similar vibe, it's not bad. I don't really mind it. If every map had it, it would be a little annoying, but this looks very yellow. There's oil! Dude, there's oil. There's an oil leak everywhere. Ay. Eastern Europe is sickly radioactive. Yes. That's just how these things go. Okay, main base, natural, Reaper jump up pad. We've given up on a lot of Overlord high grounds, it seems. Remember when Overlords had high grounds? Yeah, this looks pretty good. Also relatively generic, I suppose, but wide open and different than what we're really used to as far as, like, this middle section of the map goes. This is definitely gonna shake up the meta a bit. I'm hoping we're gonna see... Yes, dude. I'm hoping we're gonna see something a little bit different. This is by Timmay. Timmay. Center of the map has a lot of debris that creates narrow alleyways. Yeah, I guess these alleyways over here. There's a lot of, like, little... But you can knock down the rocks, I think, and then it will probably create a little bit more space. This is like having, like, a World of Warcraft clan named the Killers. It's like, yeah, it's okay, I guess. You can call your guild the Killers, but also, you know. I've noticed over the years I'm very picky when it comes to map names. Alright, this I like. This I like. This is incredibly hard to balance. This is a 1 versus 1 3-player map. 1v1 3-player maps are extremely difficult to balance. We've had them historically, but the problem is rotational symmetry generally favors spawn locations. I'm not sure exactly how that is addressed over here, but I love the concept of them. Tournament organizers want more than 2 spawns. Players don't want 4 spawns. This is the perfect compromise to get more than 2 spawns. Acceleration zones promote fast maneuvering. Air blockers surround the map, keeping the airspace the same for all spawns. All naturals can be walled with 3 evolution chambers with no creep tumors. All mains and natural mineral lines have pockets for workers. Okay. Now, the reason players don't want 4 spawns, and why they have been done away with over the years, is that when you have a 12-worker start, like we have these days, Protoss can literally not decide what to do. You run into a lot of problems. 4-player maps, in general, really cool, but since StarCraft 2 with 12 workers is so quick, if you don't scout your opponent in time, you may just find yourself with straight-up build order losses, which, I mean, some people say that's okay. I don't really like it. There's been a lot of argument as to, like, we should maybe reduce the worker count by, like, maybe to, like, 8 or 9 or something along those lines. Either way, maybe 3-player maps is the answer. I'm gonna have to see games on this, but I love the concept. So this middle area over here are all acceleration zones? Why do these look like they're not on? Why do we see squares over here? I'm assuming that's just a textural... Probably not the case when you actually load up the map. So this is all line of sight. Like, you cannot fly outside of the red marker, I think. So, like, that's all dead space. Meaning, like, you cannot fly anything into it. I mean, I hope that this is good. If this works, I would love for it to be awesome. Because I think that could be really fun to watch. Persephone. Oh, by the way, Last Fantasy? What is your Last Fantasy? No, I don't want to know. I don't want. Persephone. That is okay. Okay name. Persephone. Cool word. Love it. I don't know why, but Persephone is cool. Oh god. Patches wrote an essay. Also a well-known map maker. Timmay also well known. In the map making community, Persephone is mostly standard map with some unique features, with the map being quite long, expanded triangle, basically from the shorter triangle, forward to the unique on the right side of the map, is an acceleration highway leading to the gold base, the center of the map, a healing shrine paired with an air blocker, rock towers positioned near the center of the lines. Okay, perfect. Glad we got to the bottom of that. This is how I read emails. When people send me really long emails, this is how I read them. Too many words. That main is freaking bonkers. You could build 20 gateways inside of this base with ease. I think we have figured out that Patches, he lives in a mansion in real life, dude. This is just a regular sized room for him. It's insane. This is the butler's area right over here. We have a pantry. Very nice. Okay, we have the thingy over here, a little jump up pad, overlord pillar. Cool, cool, cool. So this over here is a healing circle. I know a lot of people don't like healing circles. I love the concept of healing circles. I think healing circles are something we should be experimenting with a lot. My main concern as far as healing circles go is balance. When you think of like practical scenarios as to where and when you would want to use a healing circle. In my mind, and again, we haven't really seen this, but I've given it quite a lot of thought. I think the best case scenario for a healing circle is for oracles. So you fly an oracle into your opponent's main, you take a bunch of damage, normally only your shields regen. Now you can get your oracle to be even more powerful. Oracles are quick too, so you could very quickly dart into one of those healing zones, and then I find it a little, because oracles are already like low-key a little bit too good in my mind. This is what I can only consider to be a direct buff to that sort of playstyle. Obviously that would go out of the engagement for a little while, but I'm also a big fan of this. We have a highway. So players spawn on the left side. This is something that we had back in the... there was a map called Treadmill that never made it onto the map pool, but I thought it was really cool. It also had like a full highway. So these are speed circles chained after one another, meaning that you can go from this side of the map very quickly towards the top. I think this is the type of stuff we should mess around with. I'm also a big fan of shared expansions. So a lot of the times when we get to like long macro games, both players mine out their 50% of the map. This map doesn't have a 50%. The 50% of the map, I mean, this is horizontally mirrored on either side, right? This is over here, I mean, it's mirrored for 4 mineral fields, right? 4 mineral fields for the player in the bottom and 4 for the one at the top. So it's a fight for the final minerals over here around all of those speed circles. So picture like a long drawn-out macro game where both of the players are mined out. They need to fight for this area, but everything is surrounded with speed circles. You get into some crazy scenarios, especially with the healing zone nearby. Probably 98% of the maps, or 98% of the games, it would not be relevant. You would just have a relatively normal macro game. But the one time where it does come into play, this could be really sick. I like this. I like this a lot. Yes. Sandwyrm. The sets of dragon teeth across the center... Character, by the way, also a well-known mapmaker. The sets of dragon teeth across the center of the desert are Terran fortifications that are used to impede tanks. And, okay. We have a little quote. I don't... I thought we were quoting a little bit of StarCraft lore for a second, but that's not the case. A chicane. Ooh, okay. This is a racing term. A chicane of dragon teeth across the middle that allows small infantry units to filter through while creating a choke point for larger units. 2 smaller sets of dragon teeth on the outer ramp. Okay. More deserts. More deserts. So a chicane is for forcing people to slow down. Rather than having just like a flat straight and having, well, in racing situations, go incredibly quick for no apparent reason. they sometimes add chicanes just to force more steering. To slow progression down. That's this sort of thing right over here. I'm assuming those are not destructible then? Maybe it said it in the description. Well. Can a Colossus walk over it? Good question. I don't know. We also have rocks over here covering golden bases. I feel like map makers really think golden bases are so amazing that they need to be, like, protected? Is the general consensus that gold bases are too good? I really don't think so. I feel like there needs to be, like, a more... like, a bigger risk-reward for a lot of this. This is so laid back. Like, it's 6 mineral fields with gold, and then you have to destroy the rocks too. This is just gonna... like, this may as well just be a regular blue base. It doesn't really matter much. I would love it if there's, like, more risk. Like, say, like, a base with 8 golden mineral fields and 2 rich gas geysers. Somewhere in the middle of the map, king of the hill, right? Like, something, you know, high risk, high reward. I know people don't like the idea of map objectives in StarCraft 2 very much, but, you know, that sort of map objective I can get behind. Even though it would be difficult to balance, we can have some creativity there, man. I think it's fine. This looks okay. This looks pretty good, but doesn't excite me very much. Pylon by The Music. Sandwyrm is okay. Listen, Al-Gaib! Wait. Is it Listen Al-Gaib? I've read Dune. It's been a while. Shai Hulud! Shai Hulud! That's it. That's it. By the way, if we're criticizing names, why is the main character of Dune in a fantasy universe called Paul? Sorry for the Pauls out there, but that is... it's not, you know, it's not a very fantasy name. Anyway. He could have been called John. It is a Monty Python name. Yeah. It really is. We have so many cool names. We have the Harkonnen and all of the other stuff, and then the guy's name is Bob. Yeah, it's just... a high risk, high reward, rich gas base. Doubles as a mineral wall, leaving it exposed and often, or open rather, after mining out. Double light bridges in the center are not buildable or burrowable. 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 Okay, buildable or burrowable. I like it. Several open spaces contrast several tighter spots for a variety of engagement types. Ooh, I love the aesthetic. So the bridges are not burrowable or buildable. Gotcha. Are they really that important? I don't really see why this would be super important. Yeah, I guess they would be reasonably important. Alright. Yeah, looks pretty good. Doesn't excite me very much, but it does look pretty good. Pylon! Bit of a boring name, no? We have a map called KillerSmile by KillerSmile. Alright, buddy. Sure, we'll allow it. Despite its size, the path to the opponent is very direct. However, it is compromised by having to push up through a narrow ramp similar to Abyssal Reef. The high ground of your natural and your third share extends out into the map. The only okay, cool. This looks very small for some reason. Like lots of bases, but it feels very crowded. I can already see a Skytle's army building on these 5 bases. Like, if you close your eyes, you can already picture Protoss taking this, taking that, taking that, taking that, taking that, taking that, taking that. And then, you know, the game never ends. This looks extremely turtleable. I might be mistaken. But it looks like you take one little... like, you have 4 bases that are essentially free for the taking because they're all... like, this one is 1 level higher, but these are all on the same high ground. So... I like the name, but... we have another one from KillerSmile called Torches. The map features a narrow, low-ground passage to the opponent's side that opens up. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Zerg rocks allowing access to the right-sided gold area. Okay. Ooh. We have more of those Zerg rocks. Tentacle rocks. I thought they were called tentacle rocks, but... You love it when maps encourage a slow, greedy crawl? I personally, you may obviously fully disagree, I personally hate maps that promote passivity. It is not what I like to watch in StarCraft. It's fun every once in a while, but with the current map pool, we've already had so much of that. Every game I see on King's Cove, Abyssal Reef, Neon Violet, like all of those maps are just so, you know, so slow and laid back and nothing's really happening until like minute 8. Maybe it's okay, but I like something a little bit more action-packed personally. But the occasional macro game is good, and obviously I do think you need to have a macro map in the map pool. So, you know, if KillerSmile happens to be that exact thing, I don't mind it. Now this is a curious setup over here. So there's 2 setups on this map that look like this. You could share mineral fields. Don't think it's gonna happen, but you could. These are literally shared. I like that. I like the idea of having those shared bases. So, initially at game start, this right side of the map is not really accessible until you either mine out these skinny mineral fields, or you wait until these rocks mine out, or die out rather, or you wait until the timer on them, or you can kill them too, right? But yeah, this right side of the map is not immediately accessible. This area is though. I like this. This one's cool. This one I like way better than KillerSmile. Avex with Selaginella. This sounds like a disease you can get from eating something indigestible. Oh, it's a plant. Okay. It is English moss, also known as spike moss or lesser clop moss. It is a genus of lycophyte. All right. Selaginella. This map features an in-base natural and okay, I know some people love in-base naturals. And again, much like KillerSmile, having 1 or 2 maps that have in-base expansions or that are very turtly, I don't mind it. But having more than 2 in the map pool, like right now we have 3, it's too much in my mind. In-base naturals also promote passive play, generally. But it's nice for some variety. And a 3rd base natural with multiple entrances. 2 entrances will be opened by the death of an infested rock. Okay. 1 such entrance will open a back door to the 4th base behind the 3rd and the... Okay, let's have a look. Ooh, love the purple. Oh! Oh, we spawn in the middle of the map. Curious. Dude, we are back to like Wings of Liberty-sized main bases in a lot of these. Okay, so this one will die out. That one will die out. 8 minutes or so in. I mean, at least we have some of that oak moss or whatever. You know, on the floor. I do like that, you know. At least we don't just have a random map name that has nothing to do. Yeah. Okay, you know what? I don't hate this. I don't hate this. I thought I was gonna hate it. I generally hate maps with in-base expansions. This looks pretty good. I like it better when you have in-base expansions that are expanding in the direction of the opponent. So we had a map a few seasons ago. I don't remember exactly, but both players spawned in the top left and the top right. And then their in-base expansions were closer towards the middle. And it was actually kind of like accessible, so you could easily take the base without actually, you know, being entirely without risk. This just seems like a freebie. Like this expansion over here is just essentially a free base. Maybe there's some Terran attacks that you could do. Yeah, I don't hate it. Antimatter by The Music. Wow. Is this indicative that it's a Terran map with stimpaks? Or do we just like lightning? Start the game with a choice of a forward natural or a pocket natural with a mineral wall that can be opened up. Gold bases sit on the sides of the map rocked off with inhibitors. Okay. Is this more in-base expansions? It is more in-base expansions. These ones, though, are also mineable over here. I don't think we need to... Like, this one's very different as far as in-base expansions go. I feel like this one is a little bit... this one's also very safe, to be honest. I think it also might be time to bring Overlord pillars back as a standard feature. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I feel like Zerg is struggling quite a bit as it is right now. This looks pretty good. I like the name. Antimatter is cool. I played a game not too long ago called Anti-Chamber. Anti-Chamber was amazing. Highly recommend. Antimatter gives me very similar vibes. Even though, you know. Anyway. Incorporeal. 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 That's it. Incorporeal. Incorporeal. No. Sorry. This is Lowko pronounces words. Incorporeal. Incorporeal. That's it. Incorporeal. That's gotta be correct. Hold up. Google Translate. Come on, Google Translate.
Incorporeal.
So smart. Alright. By monitor. There's actually a boss in RuneScape called the Corporeal Beast. Anyway. The central Xel'Naga Tower splits into 2 high ground gaining control. Okay, 2 center mineral. Okay, cool. Did it just say 10 minerals? Ooh. Alright. Oh! Ugh. Look at this. Ugh. These are 2 bases that have no gases, but they have 10 minerals. Do we like, do we not like? Can't tell. That's a lot of minerals. I like it for variety. Main base looks ginormous again. No one's vacuum cleaned here in a long time, dude. To play, like, we need a little bit of a... Maybe there's somebody with, like, a pressure washing business or something in the StarCraft community. We could get a pressure washer over here. Those yellow marks, those yellow tiles are gonna clean up real nicely. You could do 30 workers for 1 base. Yes. 30 workers for, like, maximum saturation. You actually want about 20, but... You could speed mine it. Oh, bases over here too on like semi-islands. There's one in the top right, it's mirrored to the top left. Interesting little dead space over here too. There's like a... Maybe we need like a street sign over here that it's a dead end. I can already see the proxies building here. You can see the... Yeah, you can put a Stargate down over here, a starport, any sort of thing. Do you hear the proxies fly? Flying straight to your opponent's main. Do you think any of these maps feature Shark, bro? A cul-de-sac. Yes, we need the indication of a cul-de-sac. That's what we need. I hope Shark Bro is on one of these maps. It's important to me. I like this map. It's not bad. The Grid. Ooh, the music. When ground units travel inside the exhaust vents, they block vision of the outside terrain, acting as the inverse of line of sight blockers. This map has 5 levels, all consecutively lower down the map. Welcome to the Grid. Okay. This sounds like an escape room. Try to make it out. Try to get across. So you can put workers, it says here. When workers or units travel inside the exhaust vent, they block vision of the outside terrain. What are the exhaust vents? Is this an exhaust vent? Oh, this over here says exhaust. Curious. Huh. Not sure about the gameplay implications. We have a shared base at the top of the map. Now, I'm a little afraid with a map like this, that effectively, yeah, we have all these bottom layers, but also the ones that will likely ever be explored is the top 3. So we have these 3 right over here. This is enough map. Like this over here, imagine my face not being here. This is enough map. But then there's another layer and another layer. There's 5 layers. That's a lot of bases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 bases each and then 1 shared up top. This is a huge map. A huge map, but the distance from natural to natural is actually still pretty short. Because you can actually just go... It's not that far. Love the concept. Love the concept, although I don't really know how much in play we will really see. Like, maybe we'll see this base? You know what? Maybe I'm being... I think these expansions over here are least likely to be taken. These 4 over here are quite difficult to acquire, but the rest... You could play an hour-long game here. I don't hate it. I don't hate it, though. Seems pretty cool. Spirit Crusher. I like the map name as well. The Grid? Welcome to the Grid. Oh, you think it's inspired by Tron? Makes sense to call it the Grid? Yeah, maybe. Spirit Crusher by Timmay. Diagonally symmetrical map with many choices for expansion patterns. Line of sight blockers just outside the main path offer great ambush potential. Nice, dude. That's why I have line of sight blockers right outside of my home. Excellent ambush potential. Okay, feels like there should be a base right over here. There's just like... nothing. The more I look at maps, the more I sound like the Harry Potter sorting hat. Interesting, interesting. Pocket expansion with easy 4 bases to acquire. This smells like Sky Toss! This looks pretty cool. Doesn't excite me very much, but I'm rating them based on how excited I feel. This does not excite me very much. This is like a 4 out of 10 excitement level. Yeah. And now we have one more called Killswitch by Volumin. I was actually hoping we were going to see more on 3 and 4 player maps. Killswitch, 16 base rush standard map with a unique layout. In the main, there's a Xelnaga tower that is blocked by mineral patches and rocks. Next to the tower, there's a backdoor into the main base. All right. Jeez, that's a giant backdoor. Look at this. Oh, there's a watchtower too. There's a watchtower in the backdoor. God, that normally only happens on Fridays. Anyway, the main bases in this set of maps are ginormous. Am I crazy? Slow zones over here, yeah. Collapsible tower over here, and then also mineral fields down that way. Collapsible rocks over here too with more slow zones. There is a certain elegance, though, to putting down slow zones and speed zones. I might be mistaken, but this kind of just feels like we had some open space, so we decided to smack a slow zone in there. I like the ones over here. I'm not so sure about these. This seems mostly irrelevant. I don't see how this would be very commonly used. These slow zones over here should work for flying units. Yeah. So you boost in Medevacs and are going to be slowed down. There's already a Medevac over there too. So you shouldn't really be caught off guard by anything here. I'm not sure though what these slow zones really achieve other than like mid-game Terran drop denial. Maybe prisms could be slowed down a bit, but... Yeah, okay. This looks pretty cool. This does look pretty cool. We've had quite a few different ones. This one, for some reason, I'm really interested to see games on. Last Fantasy. You gave me 3 spawn locations, but the very next map pool, Blizzard didn't put it in. That's what I'm a little bit afraid of. But across the board, this does look like a solid set of maps. So one thing to keep in mind is that maps have very strong implications for balance. And it's one of those things that is just really difficult to determine just from like a brief look at it. So they will be doing a map tournament. It says it over here at the top that, yeah, there will be a LowkoTV Team Liquid map contest test tournament. Specific dates and players to be announced. So... we'll have to see. We'll have to see what it's actually like when pro gamers play on it. But so far, I'm excited. There's some really good stuff here.